Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan, the World Traveler. I have set foot on. By the way, this recording is going on in April of 2025. So I've set foot on in my life as of right now, 30 countries, all six continents except for Antarctica. So I call myself a world traveler. I think that's accurate. But today I want to talk to you about Andorra, the country of Andorra, the tiny country of Andorra between Spain and France. And Andorra has a population of less. I think it's approximately 100,000. I could be wrong about that, and it's about the size of the Indianapolis, Indiana area. So it's not. I could be wrong about that too. But its point is, it's not a very big country, and it's not very well known. And it's a small country and not a big population, and it's landlocked. It's between Spain and France, and it's not a lot of people know that there's this place called Andorra, but it's a very beautiful place. I was there. I took a day trip there when I was staying in Barcelona, Spain. I didn't spend the night in Andorra. I just took a bus there for a day and came back to Barcelona, Spain the same day. Took a bus there. Bus took, if you ever go to Barcelona, a good day trip is Andorra. It costs, about $20, 20 euros, something like that approximately, to take a bus there and back. And it's a great time. I highly recommend it. The bus took me to the downtown area. Andorra it's kind of a city-state in my opinion, but I think the actual city in the middle of the country is called Andorra itself, if I remember correctly. But with that said, it's I had a good time in Andorra. There's some got off the bus there in the downtown area, and there's coffee shops there and restaurants and whatnot. I actually made a decision. I saw a hill that went up not a mountain, but a big hill in the middle of Andorra, the city there, and I walked past a really beautiful stream that had water flowing down this hill. It was very picturesque, mountains in the background with snow-capped mountains, and I was able to hike up this hill, way up the hill. It was a pretty good hike. It took me about a half hour to get to the top of the hill, and I found a place where the locals hang out, not the tourists, and I was able to find a restaurant where not a lot of English was spoken, and which is fine. I speak enough Spanish to communicate with people. My Spanish is not fluent, but I can survive, and I found a restaurant there at the top of the hill and had a good meal and had a good conversation with the people inside. Pretty reasonable. I think I spent less than $20. A lot of people say that Europe is expensive and being a tourist there is hyper expensive and nobody can afford it. Well, if you look around, you can find affordable restaurants. I spent less than $20 with tip and everything, and I mean that's what you'll spend at Chipotle with Chipotle here in the United States of America. You go to Chipotle, you're going to spend, if you get a Coke and a bowl and get guacamole on that bowl and chips, you'll easily spend $20 at Chipotle. So it's same thing. I think I actually came out ahead. But anyway, Andorra. I was able to see the part where the people live, not just tourists. I walked around Andorra a little bit. Very picturesque place. Nice people. Found a Starbucks, believe it or not. Had a Starbucks cup of coffee, and I think I stopped at another coffee shop there. And I think I saw off in the distance a preschool or a junior high or something like that. So it was nice to see the regular locals of Andorra just living their normal life. I saw a casino there in the downtown area of Andorra. I was walking a little more. I found a little later in the day. I found a casino. I went in, and I don't just to say I did it. I don't think I even gambled at all. I just had a Coke and left. But yeah, they have casinos there in Andorra, or a casino. Maybe it was one. I don't remember if there was one or multiple ones. But anyway, Andorra, very picturesque place. And by the way, getting to Andorra, if you start from Barcelona and go to Andorra, usually, we think of crossing an international border where you have to talk to customs agents and all that and get in line and queue up and, get processed to be able to enter another country. In Europe, it's kind of like states, they don't really, for the most part. I mean, there's exceptions, I think, but for the most of Europe that I've seen, you just drive past the border and you don't have to go through customs or anything. They don't check your passport. That was certainly the case in going from crossing the Spanish border, the Spanish Andorra border, if you will. The bus just went past the border, and if I hadn't been paying attention, I wouldn't even known I went from one country to another country. There was no process. The bus went right into Andorra from Spain. It didn't. There was no stop. Let's check your passports. None of that. And I think that's the way it is crossing a lot of borders in Europe. So that's nothing to be concerned about. And you don't need a visa to be in, as of right now, as of April 2025. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? You don't need a visa to go to Andorra if you're a U.S. citizen. You don't need a visa. You don't need to Spain or France. Just need a U.S. passport. And so, but Andorra was. It was a good time. The hills are very picturesque. You can see snow on the mountain from a distance. It's very beautiful, and I highly recommend it if you have the means to go to Andorra someday and hang out for a little bit. Probably not a place you'll spend a month, but definitely a couple days. I was just there for a day, and I enjoyed it. So that's Andorra. That's all I have to say about it. I wasn't there very long. I was long enough to say a couple hours. I was long enough to say I was there. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Andorra. That's what I was talking about. Have a good one.